104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern in the studio this morning. Jay Stevens, it is Dark Side of the Stream.
Voices everywhere.
This is episode number 67, and we are here ready?
Yeah.
One, two, three. We watch movies so you don't have to. Dark Side of the Stream. All right. Okay, it was Jay's pick this week, and he picked The Curse of Von Dutch, which at first I was like,
I was the same. I just happened to click on it. I was like, whatever. I'll give it a watch.
Unbelievable documentary, though. I mean, like literally out of the gate, I was like, I never wore these clothes. I hated people that wore these clothes. I thought it was stupid. I thought they're stupid. And anyone that wants to spend $90 on a trucker hat is a moron just because of a patch on it. That's what you want to do.
Branding, dog. Branding, man.
The funny thing to me is I'm a Walmart guy. I wear Dickies, right? I wear Carhartt sometimes, but my Dickies guy.
These were shaking the labels and swallowing.
The beginning of Von Dutch was Dickies pants. So they were taking Walmart clothes, putting Von Dutch patches on them, and selling them for triple
I should start making Jay Stevens clothes and just buy cheap clothes at Walmart and stick my face on there and sell them.
How many cool ass clothes do I have with patches on that I made myself? I do that all the time, but that's a whole nother conversation. Do you, since you don't believe in foreplay, you want to just get into? You just want to get.
I don't believe in foreplay.
You don't believe in foreplay. You just want to blow it right now and talk about your relationship to the guy in this documentary before we talk about it.
Well, all right. This is the second documentary that I watched where I'm like, hey,
I know that dude.
I know that dude, and not only do I know the dude,
he called him up.
There was 3 people in the world when I popped into this world in the hospital. There was 3 people there. My mom, 4 people if you count the doctor or nurse. My mom, my dad, and my dad's best friend. My dad's best friend was a surfer guy who then also became a pro skateboarder we're talking in the 70s here. But in 1969, when I was being born, my mom was in labor. My dad grabs her and says, wait, we got to go grab my friend Ray. Grabbed Ray Flores is his name. He's a pro skateboarder. And then he's in this documentary because he was the sales manager of this company. I paused it. I texted him, hey, I'm watching this documentary. And there you are. And he calls me and because we talk randomly once a year, probably, because literally he's my dad's best friend. So keeping in contact with me, he feels like he's still talking to my dad who's not alive, you know? And literally, I mean, this guy is part of shaped who I am. Hair, when he used to have hair, exactly like me. Crazy curly. I'll show you a picture. Crazy curly skateboarder, just like my hair. And I remember specifically driving in his little Toyota truck one time, and he was smoking weed, driving with his knees while he's firing up the joint. And he looks at me, and I was probably 7, and he's like, don't ever do this. But that's probably where I learned how to drive with my knees while you're doing crazy stuff.
And that is why Jay Stevens is who he is.
Long story short, he was in there. Again, he's in all the skateboard documentaries, and he was in this one.
Well, that's awesome. Awesome connection. And again, thanks for the explanation of why you are the way you are. Today, Dark Side of the Stream, discussing The Curse of Von Dutch on 104.7 The Cave. .7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back at the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode 67, discussing The Curse of Von Dutch. Now, Von Dutch was basically started. The funny thing is, at the beginning, there was like 5 guys that claim they created it.
Yeah,
okay?
5 guys came to the company.
Ultimately, if you wanted to trail it back, Ed Boswell was really the one who started it because he had that Von Dutch name. He had asked Kenny Howard's kids if he could use it. They said, yeah, he was taking these patches, putting them on stuff. And that's where Michael Castle and Bobby Vaughn come in. They're buddies. They see these things at the show. They're like, hey, Ed, man, this is badass. We need to do something with this stuff. Let's actually do a brand. Well, early on, I wholeheartedly believe that this company was started as a way to funnel drug money to make it clean, because it happens all the time.
Yeah,
look at Hollywood. Sometimes you're telling me these movies made $600 million, but somehow there's a loss. It's a damn money laundering scheme.
Okay.
Government does it. Hollywood does it. Drug dealers do it. They just want to make that money clean, and that's how this started.
Dark Side of the Stream could be a money laundering.
God, if we were making it
32 cents, we might be able to wander through this.
So that's how it starts. and it's it's a cool thing. Basically, the surfer dudes like it, the car guys like it. It's legit, right? But these guys had no idea what they were doing to make money. Okay, I mean, even at one point, the guy Bobby gets in with Tommy Lee. He gets Tommy Lee wearing his stuff when they're doing an episode of Tricks. Pamela Anderson's wearing it. Her brother's hanging on wearing it. But they're still not making any money because they're not spending money to grow it, to get a designer involved.
Because there's just a bunch of stoners.
There's a bunch of stoners trying to make this work. Well, stoners. I mean, Michael at the beginning of this documentary literally takes a rock. Is it heroin? I thought it was crack.
It might have been either. I don't know. He had the foil on.
Takes a little rock of whether it could be heroin or crack, lights it on fire, smokes it on camera.
Says he wants to lay down and do the interview in the bed.
And then at some point, the dude he pees in a bottle, like on camera.
Well, that's not that weird.
On camera? I mean, go around the corner or something, dude. Like, go outside. He was outside in Southern California. Like, go outside, pee in the bushes. You never sit there and pee in a bottle. Like, whatever. Anyway, these characters are crazy. Everyone that came involved with this brand was insane.
And then the kickboxer.
We're not going to go there just yet. That's next. Dark Side of the Stream. The Curse of On Dutch on 104.7 The K. On 4.7 The Cave, Mike Intern, JC is back in the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, discussing the curse of Von Dutch or Von Dutch, like I like to call it. Anyway, so yeah,
Mike's not fashion.
I'm not, dude. I make my own fashion, and I'm buying an $89 trucker hat is not part of my thing. There's about a million other things I'd rather spend my money on.
Like $39 Chief hats.
That's fine. Hey, it's half off, dude, all day. $30 Chief hat. Yeah, well, it looks better and it's cooler. Anyway, so. You got these two guys who are trying to do the Von Dutch company. Nothing's really, they're losing money. Well, eventually, Michael makes friends with this guy who was an entrepreneur. He had some money. I guess he was married to a very wealthy Brazilian chick. He's like 6'10". He's gorgeous. He's Dutch. Dude. He's a black belt karate guy. I'm surprised you didn't party with this dude at some point. You could have.
These guys were all just a little older than me. Is the problem?
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit older. I figured you'd have been on the scene. Really?
I was 16 when I was born, like Ray.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm not talking about those two. I'm talking about Tony Sorensen, the CEO. He's not your age. Come on, let's look this up. He is 57. You guys could have partied together. Yeah, you guys.
I was a young kid.
So Tony comes in, he starts pumping money into this thing, millions. He's not getting involved. They basically cut Bobby out, which pissed him off because he's out there, by the way, dude, this Bobby guy.
Yeah.
He gets with this model, they have a kid, she's still smoking crystal meth. Whatever happened to the kid? They never talk about it.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the kid.
Like him and his buddy go off to raise the kid by themselves. The mom's like, I shouldn't have been a mom. I never was a mom. I'm not a mom.
Dicks out.
She still looks great, by the way. Someone who's smoking
crystal
meth. He does too. But they never got that. We got the Bobby had sued Von Dutch and actually got the money back from that deal, which he definitely was owed. He got screwed out of the contract. He basically got screwed because he didn't read the contract. Which, by the way, guys, you ever sign anything? Before you sign anything, read it. Read it. Yeah. We're not talking about the electrical agreement with Google. We're talking about if it has anything to do with money in a business. Make sure everything's in writing, because friends turn sour real quick when it's going involved. Make sure everything's in writing, and actually read what's written before you sign it. Get an attorney if you don't want to read it, and give them a cut. Either way, those are your tips from the trade from Mike Intern, from Jay Stevens from the Dark Side of the Stream. So you got all these crazy people. Tony starts bringing in the money. Then they get Christian, what's his name? The guy, how do you say it last name?
Aguilar.
Back in.
The Ed Hardy guy, man. Well,
that's the funny thing about the whole deal is like, some people in the camp are like, hey, look, we're doing it too much. We're sending it out. We're whoring this brand out there.
Paris Hilton and
everyone's buying it.
That was what blew him up. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie on that simple ad where they would go out and up. They literally wore that every day. Von Dutch.
Then they got kids clothes.
Like
crazy.
Everybody.
it seemed to me that Tommy was like, this is too much. Don't do this. But then Christian was like, no, everywhere. Let's do it everywhere. Well, inevitably, what happened was, two things happened. One, they screwed Ed out, one of the guys who started this thing out of the company early on. And to get back at him, he basically released a letter to the press saying,
what a baller move.
Kenny was a racist and a Nazi. So anyone that's working Von Dutch stuff is inherently a racist and a Nazi too. And that really hurts your brand. Now, again, we're talking about the guy who grew this stuff, not the people that actually run the label or the designer company, but it did definitely hurt them.
It screwed them.
It's kind of funny, in my opinion. What goes around comes around when you're talking about karma. Yeah, definitely screwed them. And then ultimately, they would the Tony would sell it, get out, and Christian would go on to start Ed Hardy, which was just Von Dutch. Instead of doing like pinstripe, greaser type stuff, they just went to flash art tattoo, which was essentially the same thing. And it's garbage. And it was poop with a bow on it. In my opinion.
I had an Ed Hardy pants and jeans
that you probably bought counterfeit from China for $15. I know you did, because I know you, and I know that's exactly what you did. And inevitably, that's also
man. Stick it to the man. Hey, I bet your Chiefs hat came from there too.
No.
I know you. Authentic. I know. It's jerseys. Hey, you can get some cheap China jerseys.
We're not going to talk about the jerseys. We're going to just mention the hat. Well, let's not talk about the jersey. Now, yes, that is garbage. I'm not paying $300 for no jersey when I can get one for $20. That's a whole other thing. But Von Dutch, arguably at one time, was the most copied brand out there. But again, if you just put everything into your one little logo patch,
it's pretty easy to copy.
Not hard to copy that at all. So inevitably, a lot of people lost money. A lot of people gained money. That Tony guy, that investment, man, he's got, I think in his collection, I was looking at that.
Somehow that dude's got a lot of money.
Dude has got like, he's got, I want to say, McQueen's motorcycle in his collection. He's got, yeah. I was looking this up. He's got Steve McQueen's Von Dutch 1929 Super Scroll. He's got a 1970 Ray Allen World Champion Chevelle. He's got a Boss Cyclone Boss NASCAR car from '69. This dude's, I mean,
he's still balling.
Oh yeah, now he's like an entrepreneur, but he's still like the Dutch guy, whatever. Anyway, it was a good documentary, and we'll get to our reviews next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The K. .7 The Cave. Mike, the intern, Jay Stevens, back in the studio, episode number 67. It is Dark Side of the Stream discussing the curse of Von Dutch. So, how many Von Dutch patches would you give this thing?
I'd give it 4 because it was good and it had a friend of mine in it. So,
yeah, 4. I was texting Jay while I was watching, man. I was like, dude, you hit it out of the park with this one.
And if it sparks your interest, my buddy Ray, he told me that the trademark for Bronze Age expired and he took it over and bought it. So he's slinging plot twist. He's selling a lot of Bronze Age in China. He said he's selling it to those people there. It's big over there.
Pull back. Circle continues.
So yeah, he's trying to get everyone else who wants some Bronze Age stuff, hit him up.
Also, we kind of glazed over this part, but Bobby, the surfer guy, ended up killing his friend Mark in claiming to be self-defense. So I don't know. They had been out of the Von Dutch game for a while, but they did represent him at one point. And that part of the story was like very, very sad. Very dark. Very sad. The whole thing about them getting involved in the killing, and when they were 15, they just dropped him off in Mexico, and he somehow made his way back 9 months later. Like, dude. Then went to juvie. And, oh man, those are where he's like in these steel cage matches.
It's a wild story.
Very wild documentary. I would agree with Jay. 4 Von Dutch patches was what I would give this thing, and it's definitely worth your time. I think it's 3 episodes on Hulu. Definitely watch it because it's sort of a guy who literally shops at Walmart for all his clothes, except for when it comes to Kansas City Chiefs stuff or Rock Band t-shirts, which should also support your band by buying my stuff. Yeah, I would never spend that kind of money on this thing ever. But it was a very interesting documentary. And like I told him, I was like, I'm going to do what Jay does. I'm just going to play video games on my Switch while I'm watching this. I never picked it up once. Never picked it up once. I was sucked in. And while I watched that whole damn thing, and then my wife was like, you watched it without me? So it looks like I'm going to be watching it again in the near future. Next pick for Dark Side of the Screen is going to be the Get Back documentary about the Beatles making of Let It Be that Peter Jackson just released on
Really
Plus. I'm very excited
It's
about
long,
it.
but it's
It's
good.
very long, so we're going to give ourselves some time to dive into it. I've been just trying to give myself the space I need away from the kids. Just like I need to focus in on Paul, John, Ringo, and George and see how they made Get Back. As always, you can stream these online, 1047thecave.com, on our 104.7 The Cave app, and watch us do it live on Facebook every Thursday at 9 a.m. This is Mike, the intern, Jay Stevens saying, we watch movies so you don't have to. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. See ya.